The one and only Greatman Takit, actor, musician.
First ever headline in London, and we sold out. Thank you. Thank you. Bruh, like, why am I crying on set? Fellowship with God. Trust the unseen God to just jump, and you know that He will catch you.
Do you care what your fans think?
Take like really calculated risks. Because if you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection.
Let's get him in trouble.
And I don't care what anybody says. Embarrass me in public. Remove my shirt and tear it. I live in the confluence of many worlds. That's where my reality is. It means that I could do worship music and I could do hip hop, like do Afrobeat. I am an artist. I am malleable with my expression. I am not black or white, and that's a difficult place to be at. People like to label you. I'm laying a template. I am doing what should be done in the future, in the present. Or I just don't want to answer this question.
Wow. All right, let's get it started. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to a new episode of the Dreams, Money, Purpose podcast. It's your girl, Nomanoms. And as always, I'm with a special guest. This time he's all the way from Nigeria, the motherland, and he brought us good weather. So thank you for that.
I brought you good weather.
Yeah, it was tough times, but you came and the clouds opened up. So thanks for that. How you doing?
Look at that. I'm bringing open heavens to you guys already.
Look at that. Praise God.
I'm good people. Thank God for God.
How are you finding London? All of that.
Cool. This is the hardest I've experienced in London.
You came for your first headline show in London. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How was that? Yeah, kudos.
It was good. It was fulfilling. It felt really good. Yeah. I think it was something. It was one for the books.
You said satisfying. That's really nice
It
to
was
know.
quite satisfying and fulfilling also. Like it was a dream come true. First ever headline of mine in London, and we sold out.
Come on.
Yeah. So, and we had Noms come do some interview,
Yeah.
backstage interview
Yeah.
for me. So it was good.
No, it was. It was a good show. I mean, first of all, thank you for doing it, because when sometimes God will do something and or make you do something, and I think me even being there was just random, right? It was like I sort of joined the situation a week before, and then
Quite random.
very random, very, very random. And me being there, I was like, oh, God, I see why you wanted me here. But no, it was a really good show. What was the most surprising part for you?
The fact that people did not go. So I've come for events in London on quite a number of occasions since 2017. I've been coming here, and I've seen how events go. It's pretty much the same thing almost everywhere. How that it starts with a huge bang, and the graph of the show goes like this. And if you're wise enough, you can you can end before it really dips. And that's pretty much how it was for me. People stay till the end.
But I think kudos to you and your team for just putting together such a great list of guests, but also with your performance, song selection, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The band was incredible. The man that was on the drums, I don't know who he is, but he needs a raise because he did an incredible job. And I
Yeah.
think just your engagement, your team,
Yeah.
and the way they just handled everything was just so perfect, where we were engaged and
Right.
we're looking forward to the next thing.
The next
What's
thing,
going to
yeah.
happen next? What's
Yeah.
going to happen next? Who's going to pop up and show
Yeah.
out? Who's going to be the surprise guest? And what song are you going to perform next? So it was really, really good.
Thank you.
Would you say that's maybe been one of your favorite performances thus far?
Absolutely. One of my favorite performances thus far.
Why? Because it's London, or just because of engagement of the fans?
Engagement of the fans, London. So you have to, I'm sure you can relate with this. As an African artist, born and raised in Nigeria, it's quite a big deal for your songs to be sang back to you 6 hours away from your land,
Yeah.
across the Atlantic. And it's crazy. It's crazy how everybody was singing it back to me. People in front, kids were singing my songs back to me. And I was like, okay, I love this. This is really good. And another factor, another thing that I observed was the fact that it wasn't just Africans, it wasn't just Nigerians that were there. You are from Zim. I saw Caucasians there.
Yeah, it was very diverse.
It was very diverse. That's an advantage for me. That's a plus for me, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll say it just felt like, I think, it felt like a party. It
It
felt
did.
like a party, and you really just, it brought so much joy, and just seeing everybody just have a ball,
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I like to see. I like to see people like
Yeah.
really happy,
Yeah.
just in that atmosphere, just doing whatever they like, but still very organized, very put together.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it looks chaotic,
Demure.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks chaotic, but then there's still a level of sanity in it. So it's like organized chaos.
I mean, I feel like we've come to where you are right now, but let's take it all the way back to like
Okay.
beginnings.
Okay.
And I recently discovered you were in a group.
Oh, I was.
Tell me about that. And I guess maybe the transitioning from being a group member or being in a music group, working with other people, to now being a solo artist, being center stage. Everything is about you, everything is centered around you, and it's your output, it's your creativity.
I'm not going to, not to sound religious, but it's not all about me. Please.
No, I mean, as
I
in
feel
like,
you.
and not in a way where it's like, oh, it's all about him, but I mean in the sense of like
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
music
feel
that
you.
you're
Yeah, it's
creating,
my
right?
music.
Whereas before you were in a group,
In a group,
now it's centered around.
Okay. It didn't start as me being in a group. It started as me being an artist. Then I shut down my personal artistry to enter a group. So I was an artist for 5, 6 years before I even joined the group. I mean, of course, upcoming, pushing, releasing music. I had gotten to a place where it felt like I was going to begin to have a break. Then this came, being with the group. And that was a break at the time, in a sense. It was like an advancement of some sort. But after 4 years, I just knew it was time. I missed me doing music. I mean, I enjoyed every year and every time we did music together with the group, the Gratitude. Shout outs to them. Shout out to all of you guys. But it was obvious, even within the group, that this guy is an artist. You know,
Like by himself.
Yeah, by himself. Everybody knew that as much as I could blend with the group, and I did that perfectly, it was obvious that there was a part of me that I needed to give expression again, which was this. Transitioning wasn't the easiest. I would say it's a mixture of time, chance, and divine orchestration. And then just obedience and strategy to know when exactly to do what, and to know who exactly to speak to about what.
Let's talk about the divine intervention that you mentioned in like your exiting and transition into a season of being a solo artist.
Okay, I entered the group. I became part of the group knowing that I was going to leave at some point. That was the instruction.
Right.
Yeah. It was a debate to enter. Like it was something I had to know if I should do or not. The moment I knew, the commission to go came with the instruction or the caveat, you're going, but I'm going to take you out. So just be ready for whenever that is. And it just so happened that it was 4 years after. And so moving out of that, in practical terms, in real time, things began to happen around me, around even in the institution.
When you say institution, what are you referring to?
It's the church. Yeah. It was a group that was founded by a church.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't a choir.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So things began to happen around, and those were like signs for me. And then apart from that, there was the personal hearing of God on like another level. And it was just, when something is no longer just supernatural, it's spectacular. It's like, yeah, I'm all up in your face. You have to, you have to know that this is me talking to you. And so it was obvious for me, and because of that, I had to be brave enough to initiate the move and the exit. And thankfully, it was during the pandemic. So everybody was on lockdown. My exit wasn't so obvious.
Yeah.
Because people were on lockdown. Churches weren't gathering as much. No, churches weren't even gathering. People were doing the advent of this, the podcasts and everything. What made it really popular was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because people began to meet like this in rooms and parlors and studios. And that's precisely what it was for them. So in the occasion where you would have like 8 singers on stage, you only had like 2. And sometimes I wasn't part of them. And so when I exited,
It was like
it was
slowly and
very
surely.
smooth.
Let's talk about, you mentioned about like that knowing the times and season, which again is so interesting that you said that, because I just feel like there's been a lot of that right now. Like,
For you?
I mean, yeah, almost like corporately, but also for me personally, just like transitioning from one thing to another and like becoming as well. Because as you obviously transition from being a group artist to now being solo, even though you did it before, you knew that, okay, now this is different, right? And you becoming who you were called to be. But then I think I want you to talk about more about where maybe someone may be in a stage of like transition, or re-knowing who they are, re-understanding their purpose, getting to know what is it that I need to be doing at this time and in this season.
What I would say is, if you fellowship with God, and that sounds very vague, right? That sounds like it has many layers and many expressions. But fellowshipping with God will keep you alert. There is a sense in which when you fellowship with God, there's a sense of urgency that you have in your spirit with regards to things. There is the general vision God casts in your heart and in your spirit. But then there is and that's for like almost like the rest of your life, or a very long period in your life, where he says, okay, I want you to go corporate. And then you're like, okay, corporate, huh? All right, let's go. Now, corporate can be from when you're 22 till when you're like 45. But he's not going to tell you, after corporate, do this. No. He's just going to tell you, I want you to go corporate. And it's your responsibility to obey that instruction. And just keep going. What that does for you is it trains you to trust him. Trust the unseen God. Trains you to be able to just jump, and you know that he will catch you. Trains you to be able to take like really calculated risks. But it's in the little things. It's in the praying every day. It's in the reading of the word. It's in revering his word.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in revering his word. It's in looking out for what he's saying in the mouth of the most unexpected person talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you see, I think that's the part where a lot of us just kind of skip over that.
Yeah.
And it's something, especially this year, I've been learning to listen, because like God really just speak through any and everybody. And I guess just being transparent, I was talking to my uncle one time, and he said something to me, but if you were not really listening, you would have thought it was just a throwaway comment. But then, because I think God was just like allowing me to really tap in. Now looking back, almost like 6 months later, I'm like,
that was God talking to you.
That was God talking to me. So no, you're absolutely right. So what was it like for you, just almost rediscovering yourself now as an artist? Because obviously you've been a solo artist, now you've done the group thing, now you're back to being a solo artist, and it's like rediscovering your voice as an artist, rediscovering your style, rediscovering who you are and your purpose with your music.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense it was, but in another sense it wasn't, because it was just, it's like trying to get a degree, right? You go to class every day, you go for lectures, you write exams, but at the end of the day, it's towards something, getting the degree.
The degree, yeah.
So it was, 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. So me being part of the group was at just another level, and the examinations and tests that comes with. Of course, I had to acclimatize myself again to being a solo artist, but it wasn't a thing of where I lost touch with my artistry and my creative process and my creative genius and my onions. Do you get me? It's just what it was. I would always, even when I was part of the group, I used to sneak to the studio. I would
do your own thing.
Yeah, just.
But then I feel like,
record.
with artists, it's like you can't help yourself. Like something needs to come out of you. Something needs to be expressed, and it's like I can't hold this in me, because it's like it's bubbling in me, right? And it needs to come out.
So I had the outlet. I'll just go to the studio and record. I wasn't releasing it, I never really released any of those, but I would just...
Maybe you should revisit some of those ideas.
Some of them are old.
I mean, I want to talk about something else. You are now an actor. You've recently added to your CV, and we can now find you on our screens being an actor. The role was, is it Kalode?
It's not Kilode, it's Kolade.
Hey, sorry. See, I'm not Nigerian. Help. Tell me about your new role in this film, the musical. What is it? Where can we watch it? Tell me all about it.
I watched it just once. I'm never gonna watch it again.
Why?
Because I'm cringing.
Is it one of those things where like you watch yourself somewhere, you're like, I don't want to watch myself?
Yeah. It's
But
the
I'm
way
sure it
people
was
feel.
good.
I mean, people say it was. I agree that it was. I'm just not going to watch it again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the way people say they feel when they hear themselves sing
Or talk.
or talk. I've never felt like
hear
that
it.
with my singing or my talking.
Really?
But with my acting, Jesus, please.
I mean, I will say this. The clips that I saw, I was like, okay,
Really?
come through, actor. Your
Come
Oscar's
through,
coming
actor.
soon. Your Oscar's
Amen.
coming soon.
Amen to the Oscar.
Yeah, how was the experience for you? Just like delving into new waters.
It was good. I mean, it wasn't my first acting. It was my first professional acting role.
Yeah.
But I used to act in secondary school.
Okay, no, we're talking professional. We're not talking.
Yeah, but then if it's there, it's there. But of course, the experience was great. Fun fact: the movie is about Kolade coming from the UK, from his tour. Like in the movie, I had just come back from my tour, and my dad was mad at me, and all that, and all that, and all that. Fun fact: I literally just came back from the UK, and I went straight to the set to act the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when they released the movie, I was in the UK. I'm in the UK. So it's just, I could relate with a lot of things. Even the role, being misunderstood, but not so much, not as much as he was. But the experience was cool. It was really good. Shout outs to Mount Zion Movies, Mount Zion Production, everybody.
In what ways did the role challenge you to maybe even step outside of your comfort zone?
To cry, like just cry on set. Bruh. Like, why am I crying on set?
During filming?
Yeah, during filming, I had to cry.
crying
Yeah.
scenes. Oh,
I had crying scenes.
wow, you're an actor. Okay, I love that for you.
So
Yeah, so soon I'll be seeing you next to Brad Pitt.
you get me. Shooting at him.
You know, I love that for you.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So yeah, back to like how did it challenge you, like in terms of you as an artist expressing yourself and maybe just even tapping into different emotions?
Yeah. I've always been used to the mic and the studios and the stage and the lights and cameras and action in that sense with music, but not with acting. You had people behind the cameras, people saying cut, saying one, roll this, act this,
Do it again.
do it again. Like you do one thing 5 times. So yeah, it was interesting, and it was of course challenging. It was something that I had to embody, and that was not in my comfort zone.
So are we gonna see you doing more acting?
Hopefully, I like it.
You liked it?
I liked it. I liked the fact that, I mean, I've always thought that I would act, so I don't mind.
So when this opportunity came, it was like perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, it was good.
What is the biggest challenge about being Greatman in this season?
Biggest challenge about being Greatman in this season is being Greatman. What that entails is my life. If you were, of course you were, at the event, you'd see that before I came up stage, there was a montage that was played, and it was saying, I'm not a black or white guy. You get me? I'm not this or this. But I was essentially saying that I live in the confluence of many worlds. That's where my reality is. You've seen where like the Pacific and the Atlantic meet? That divide, that obvious difference between the waters. That's where I live in life. I know how to speak the Atlantic language, and I know how to speak the Pacific language. I am for the Pacific. I am Pacific as a Pacific, and I am Atlantic as an Atlantic.
What does that mean? Like practically
Practically,
in terms of
it means,
in terms of your music.
yeah,
what
in
are you
terms of
saying
my
to us?
music, it means that I can do more than one thing. It means that I could do worship music as a worshiper and a worship leader and a music minister, churchy music minister. And I could do hip hop like a hip hop artist. I could do Afrobeat like an Afrobeat artist. You know, I could do ballad. You know, I am an artist, and I am malleable with my expression. I am not black or white, or this and or that. I'm this and that. I'm a bridge. You know, and that's a difficult thing to embody, and that's a difficult place to be at in reality, because people like to compartmentalize. People like to label you for the convenience of their minds.
Yeah, true.
You know, so in the situation where it's like, you can do this, you are doing this, you are doing this, why? Just choose one and follow through. And it's easy to do that, but then, like I said in the montage, I feel a resistance in my heart every time I do it. It feels like I need to lay another template, you know, apart from the one that has been laid by people before me. It's like there's a whole generation coming that have now come that can do everything.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I like about our generation, or especially like Gen Z.
Yeah.
They're like, we're doing what we want to do, how we want to do it.
Yeah.
They're not following the rules. They're not following what the previous generations have set before them to follow, and the templates that have been set for them. But they're like, we're rogue. We're doing whatever we want to do. What feels right, what feels good, what feels like us.
Yeah.
And not what you think I should be doing.
And so the difficult thing about being me is that I am a token of a generation that's supposed to come after me in my own generation. Make sense?
Expand on that more.
I'm living in the future. I am living in my present what people are going to live in their present but are in my future. So I'm living out the future for people in the future to know how to live in their present, which is my future.
You're walking so that the next generation can run.
Yes, essentially. I'm laying a template. I am doing what should be done in the future, in the present. So people of the present cannot understand. Sometimes don't. Sometimes refuse to understand. But it's my cross to carry. It's my cross to bear.
But I think, interestingly enough, I think that's what makes you interesting.
Of course.
That's
It's
what
what
makes you
makes me
interesting.
me,
Yeah, it makes you you. And I think if you were like every other artist, and no shade to them in a way, but I think just the fact that you can, as you're saying, you can do the ballads, you can rap, it's an interesting mix that almost in a way it's like you can't help but stare. Do you know when you see something odd? And I'm not saying you're odd, but you know, when you see something odd, you're like,
today, so it's
you're just, huh?
You have said many things to me today, so it's okay.
It's okay. You're still here.
No
It is
problem.
well. It is well with you.
Go on.
But it's like you can't help but to stare, because it's like, this is so interesting. And that mix is what makes you interesting.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. It's difficult to integrate. Make sense? Yeah, because the systems you have in place are for one.
I mean, you're a public figure. And
That's what they say.
that's what it is.
All right. Say so.
I mean, you are. You have to embrace what it is.
Okay, ma'am.
And I bring that up to say, being an artist, being a musician, by virtue of what you do, you get a lot of feedback. I mean, you have fans, you have supporters, and what you do, some may say, also hinges on like that feedback that they give you, or the opinions of others. How do you handle that?
Spiritual filtering.
Okay.
Some people's opinions come with venom. Of course, you learn the hard way. You would know when something hits you, and then it just makes you restless in a negative way. Sometimes just ignore it. You must learn how to flush. Every house has a flushing system. No matter how beautiful a house is, if there's no flushing system, then nobody's going to want to be in that house, because everything will just stink. So when somebody says something to me, if it's a good one, if it's a good thing and it's sincere, I think it's sincere, I'll take it.
Like when that feedback, it may not be the feedback you want to hear.
Yeah, but if it's sincere
it's,
enough,
yeah,
and
it's sincere
and it's constructive, then yes, I'll take it. I'll ask them. Sometimes I'll ask them, what do you think I should do? You know?
And what do people typically say when you're like, what do you think?
it surprises them that I would even want to hear their opinion and get counsel from them sometimes.
Do you care what your fans think in terms of music, in terms of how you move, what you do?
In a way, yes. In a way, no. In a way, no, because I cannot. There's something Lecrae says. He says, if you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection. So in that sense, I don't care what anybody says. But in another sense, because you are the ones that I am singing to and trying to entertain and trying to minister to, then I should care. I should care what you think. I should care how it rubs off on you when I speak or when I sing. I should care what you think about certain lines. The people that have actually, this happened to me like once or twice. Somebody stopped me at the shopping mall and actually had a conversation with me for close to 2 hours, standing.
About what? About
Just
your
my
music?
Why did you sing it like this? Why did you use this line? Why did you say this? Why did you, like, I think that this, and I explained myself to them.
I think that's interesting though, because then it shows how attentive they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not just like listening and going, but they're invested in you and also like your artistry, your music. Like they're interested in the details and what you say. But with that being said, then are you aware and do you take it into account when you make your music, just like the level of influence you do have on those who are listening or those who watch you and your followers?
I do. There's certain words I will not use, certain phrases I will not use, certain expressions I will not use. Not because they are bad in and of themselves, but just because of the demography that I want to reach.
Which is?
A lot. I mean, from the youngest people to the oldest people. So because of that, I have to have language, unless, of course, if the song is tailor-made for a particular demography, then I don't care. And then sometimes I use certain phrases or terminologies or words that may not be popular in the space that I generally cater to.
Is there any pressure for you to keep your fans happy or to maintain a certain look, a certain image of who you are, or like how you present yourself to sort of your audience, the people, social media, and all of that kind of
In
stuff?
a way, yes, just because there's the business side to things. And with business, branding is important. So yes, in a way. But in another way, it's like I'm a human being. I will make mistakes. I will fall. And I have to be able to give myself that much grace.
Have you ever found yourself where you're like, where someone's had to check you, or maybe you've like said something, or your team is thinking, Greatman, you're getting too big for your boots. How far?
I mean, if it's pride, no, not many people. I mean, it's like I'm very approachable, unless I don't want to be.
Oh.
Yeah, unless I don't want to.
So
be.
there's times where you're like, nah, today.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't want to talk.
Okay.
Or I just don't want to answer this question. Or this question is coming from a place that I don't like. You get me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just tell that somebody's asking a question to trap you or to make you say something or do something. And it's like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to indulge you. But then there are times when my friends check me, the thing you said that day, I think it's like this. And then we talk about it. We debate about it. Yeah. I actually like healthy debates. So we can have those debates, and then I'll tell you why I said this. I'll tell you the motive behind why I said it.
Yeah.
And if you think that it is still not, if you feel like it's still out of pocket, then maybe it's my responsibility to, correct that.
To correct that. So with where you are right now, and maybe we spoke about like influence, do you think maybe as a society, as a generation, are we too flippant with the way that we use social media and what we say, what we post, what we do? Or is it, like, in your opinion, is it like a free-for-all, like whatever you say, whatever you want to do?
Don't do whatever you want to do, and don't say whatever you want to say. Say what is important. Say what will edify. Say what will encourage people and build people and teach people and educate people. Say what will bring joy to people's faces. Do what will, of course, make you happy, but also paint you in a light that people will want to bank on and invest in.
I do think we definitely, as you're saying, one, overuse social media, but two, are in a place where people get their personalities from social media, get their value system from
From social media,
influencers
yeah.
and social media and what they're seeing, and they don't take the time to. And I feel even bad for like the younger generations,
Yeah.
the ones that are coming up, because you're just constantly looking at other people, you
Yeah.
know. Whereas in the past, we had magazines to look at and maybe
Yeah.
like TV.
That was still other people, to be honest.
Yeah, but
But-
not. But then they even felt like they were far off, because maybe if I'm reading about Will Smith or
Yeah.
you know, this great TV personality, they feel like they are here,
And
whereas
you're here.
you're here. Whereas right now you're watching like you can see 100 people's lives in the space of an hour, and from that you then gather. You select and choose which one do I want to be part of, me or my personality, and not really take the time out to discover you first. Before,
That makes a lot of sense.
you know, intaking what other people are throwing out to you. In this season that you are in right now, what's surprising you about life
What's surprising me about life?
and about yourself?
That's an interesting question. I have to think about it.
Or maybe let me ask this then. What is something you're discovering about you? Not you, the artist, but you, the individual,
Just me,
the
the
person.
person. That's private. But let me attempt to see if there's something I can share. During the event, I realized how much I could work under pressure. Like during my event, I realized how much I could work under pressure. I realized how much I could manage many people around me. But I also discovered that there was a part of me that I needed to watch out for,
Oh,
that really could get mad. And it was the smallest thing. But then the person that triggered it is somebody I had been managing. And so because I was being argued with just minutes, like 20, 30 minutes before me going up stage, was when this happened. And it had to shut down quickly. But I also discovered how I could flip quickly again back to like the sane me and all that. Like, yeah. So I guess it just made me realize what to do next, when, you know, what to do moving forward with regard to like my organization of like events and stuff.
but I think two things come to mind. I think one of them being, I think it's because you care, right? So I can imagine whatever it is that you two were going back and forth about is because both of you do care, and you care about the final product. You care about the people's experience and those who have paid to come and see you.
Yeah.
Right. And I also think it's growth. There's certain things that won't be revealed in you until you're put under pressure, or until you're like a certain situation triggers it, and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I need to watch out for that. Right. And then you were saying about like you being a manager. I don't know, like if how much managerial experience you have, but again, I think there's certain things that until you're put in that situation, like it will never come up. Right.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I don't think there's anything to add to that. I think that's there's a full stop there.
Full stop.
Yeah.
I like that. What is something that you're looking forward to doing now that I feel like, okay, that's a big check off your dream list of like things I wanted to do, wanted to achieve? What is next on the dream list?
I think, how did Jay-Z and Beyonce put it? Jay-Z, I think. What's better than one billionaire? Two. So what's better than one concert in London? Two. What's better than one concert outside Nigeria? Two.
Okay.
So like I'm looking forward to touring different countries, Europe, Canada, America.
So we go again.
Yeah, we go again because I believe that what I am propagating is clean music, and this kind of music is important for the kids and just the mind generally. You were there. You saw joy in its very raw form.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it wasn't just happiness, it was joy. It was the fact that people were going through things, but they didn't care. They were happy, but they also remained happy after they left, because I got feedback, you know, and people kept mentioning me on social media even a week after, because they were left with residues of that atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that's something I feel like in my own little way would make, let me not make it cliche, but I was going to say make the world a better place, but just, I like to get into the minds of people and change it for good. Yeah. I like to make people happy.
Why?
Why not? Why not? Like,
But
why should
why-
people be sad? I like happy endings.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like tragic movies. I don't like it. Because we're already living life. Life is already hard the way it is. So why should I go to the cinema to watch that life is hard? I'm living it already. People are living it already. So I want to paint a picture of hope. I want people to see that good always prevails in the end over evil. I want people to feel like, yes, I'm going through something, but I will come out of it. And even if I don't come out of it, there is a good God that cares about me, that is with me in the midst of like all of the things I'm going through. Somebody came there that had cancer. I just discovered on Tuesday, because what she was telling me over the phone on Tuesday was good news.
Amen.
So
Thank God.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, I feel like that was like just a number of people. But then what happens when it's 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 people at the same time? I saw kids crying, and engaging with my music. Kids insisting to their mothers and their fathers that they're coming for my concert. They're not going to hang out with their friends. They're coming for my concert.
They're going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be there. So
That's such a beautiful thing. Something that I'm very aware of, and something that has been a conversation on social media a lot, is like young men feeling lonely, young men not having a sense of identity in this current, I guess, season climate that we're in. And speaking to you sound like, and as far as I can tell, are somebody who knows their purpose and has discovered that and are pushing forward full throttle into pursuing that. What is your advice for like someone else who's listening and are just like, they feel lost, they don't know what they're doing, they're just, at home playing games, and I just like, life just seems to pass them by and there's nothing really happening or nothing that's fulfilling them?
I'm going to say it in the most unequivocal way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Jesus, his person, his principles, his way is the best. Life is hard. Life is serious. Life comes at you in the most unfair manner. People go through things, and like life comes at you not as a kid. It comes at you like you're already becoming something that it doesn't like, even as a kid. It throws javelins at you that can pin you to the wall. Life is wicked and people are wicked. So you playing video games and just whiling away time is you literally succumbing to the weapons of warfare fashioned against you. You already, the arrows are already hitting you. That's why you're behaving the way you're behaving. You don't know how serious life is. You're numbing the pain. Face it. Submit it to Jesus. And I'm saying Jesus. I'm not going to mince words. It's Jesus. Just go for him. Ask him to come into your life and submit to him. Obey him. Argue with him if you must. Cry to him. But Jesus is the person. Jesus is the guy. That's the truth.
That's
Period.
good.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. So once they've done that, in terms of like practical steps, what are some things for someone who, again, like I said, who is lost and doesn't know, like, what do I do with my life? What am I called for? What is my purpose? What am I here on earth to do?
Look
like,
for
is it just vibes?
No, it can't be just vibes. And everybody knows it's not just vibes. But look for the things that annoy you the most.
Annoy you the most.
Yes, the things that just get at you. Some people can't stand injustice. Some people can stand it. Some people, they don't like it, but they can stand it. They're like, okay, you know what? I'll fight another day. Some people absolutely cannot stand injustice. you're most likely called to that area. You're most likely called to be or build an institution that fights justice. You know, look for your pain points and begin to ask questions around those things. You will find the answers. And you finding the answers will bring you ultimate fulfillment. You getting that fulfillment is already giving people fulfillment because you are meeting needs, human needs. Because that's what God brought you here for. To make humanity better. To make him known in humanity.
Facts. How have you seen yourself grow in the last several years that's changed you or surprised you?
The place I was at before with the group, I spent 4 years there. But those 4 years have taught me everything. I can't say everything because I haven't lived everything. But those 4 years will forever remain instrumental to my life and journey.
To your career.
Yeah. Not just career, like life. Yeah, life and journey. Just life.
So with that being said, what are you looking forward to doing in terms of music? Your last project was 2024. Can we expect that something will be coming 2025, 2026?
Of course. I'm releasing my first album the first quarter of next year.
Oh, do we have an exclusive?
No, it's not out yet. Maybe next time you see me. And
God knows when that would be.
God knows.
All right.
And if you're nice to me, maybe I will.
Have I not been nice to you?
Yeah, well, I don't. If you're nice to me, then
don't go snitching.
No, I'll probably just play a song or two. But yeah, I'm releasing a couple of singles that will lead to the album. I've been releasing a couple of singles. So yeah, expect an album really soon. Soon, yeah.
We look forward to it. So before I let you go, I have a game that I want us to play.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a quick fire round, right?
Okay.
First one is, what is your favorite collaboration you've done? Let's get him in trouble.
I don't have favorites.
Oh no, come on.
Honestly don't have favorites. I promise you.
Top three.
UI Bello, Imran, Limo Blaze.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the one with Imran. Yeah, thank you.
Timely. Remember what I was saying about new seasons and transitions?
Yeah, true. It's your time to shine.
Yeah.
True.
No,
And then there's the one
you
with.
did that.
Thank you. Thank you. No pictures. Thank
you. Okay, so would you rather, and I'm going to give you two names, and you have to pick which one would you rather go on a tour with or do a full album with? First artist is Folabi Noel. Second one is Limo Blaze.
Full album with Folabi, tour with Limo.
Why?
Wait, tour with Folabi, full album with Limo.
Okay, is there a reason why?
I mean, Folabi is a stage guy. Folabi is, his expression is seen in the most beautiful way on stage.
Yeah.
Limo is a stage guy, but he's also a studio guy. Right? And with Limo, because he can sing and rap, the possibilities are endless because we're the same. So it's like we're merging our worlds, and so the possibilities are endless. We can write anything.
So maybe that's something that needs to happen. This is me speaking for the people. We want to see a Greatman and Limo Blaze album or EP project.
You will tell Limo Blaze.
Okay, Limo Blaze. I'm speaking for the people. We want a project. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather be in the studio recording music or performing or ministering in front of people?
It's always been both for me.
That's why I said you gotta pick one.
The real answer is both, but in this season of my life right now, I want to release an album, so I'll be in the studio recording. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so a one-to-one catch up with a friend or a group link up, like somewhere out eating, a barbecue event, chill thing.
Group.
Deep worship or high praise?
Deep worship.
Deep worship. Why?
It's deep. I'm deep.
Fair. We'll take that. Okay, and what is currently on your playlist? What are you obsessed with? Who are you listening to right now?
I like the new An Endless Oceans project. Do you know An Endless Ocean? An Endless Ocean, you're gonna thank me for this. I've just gained a fan for you. but you're gonna like him.
Okay.
The first song on the project he just released, the name of the project is Scepter. I like the song. Yeah.
And out of your own catalog, what is on your current repeats? Do you listen to your own music?
I do, but just when I feel like it.
Really?
Yeah. Once I'm done, I'm done. I'm done. I'm moving on to the next. What I listen to that's mine are songs that I haven't released. Those are
That
the
you're
songs I
working
enjoy.
on, or just
No,
like old?
sometimes I'm even
like,
done. But I'm just listening and I'm enjoying it. The moment I release it for everybody to listen, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm moving on to the next. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me,
You're welcome.
despite
Thank
the
you for
fact that
having
you were
me.
late.
Tell the people that I was late. Tell them. Embarrass me in public. Remove my shirt and tear it.
Tear my clothes.
Yeah.
You did.
Thanks
No,
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you've had a decent time.
I have. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're
I
gonna
hope-
come back. We'll do it again.
If you're nice to me.
I'm always nice. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, don't mind me. It's dope.
Thank you. Any last words for your fans? Anyone listening? A word of encouragement? Anything that's on your heart?
I think
to
that
share?
I've said everything I was supposed to say on the podcast. So just listen to the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, until the next episode of the Dreams Money Purpose podcast, it's been your girl Namanoms and the one and only Greatman Takit, who is now an actor, so you can catch him on your screens, and of course musician. So all his information will be in the description below. Follow him, check him out if he's new to you, and of course follow the podcast and tune in for the next episode. Till next time, bye bye.
Bye.